are live. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Blake Ruffino. Here I am. Not in the studio. We are away from the studio. We are out with family. So we are doing the show a little bit early. We are not doing the show in the studio. But nevertheless, we are live. Welcome in here with us. My name is Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. I hope that you're making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you tonight. Look, I had contemplated since we were out of town not to do a show because we had some family things going on. But then this guy named Scott Farel, whatever you want to call his name or whatever his name is, decided to go off on LSU. So tonight we're going off on Scott Farel, whatever his Rudy Poo name is. But in case you missed it, he came out last night. So Scott Farel is a radio host. Somehow on his show, the topic of LSU came up, and somehow, some way, in his discussion, he started calling LSU corrupt. Well, Scott, the only thing that's corrupt, bud, and I have to do this out of town, by the way, not even in studio, the only thing corrupt is you, because a little history search, a couple of phone calls, you are the one who has made multiple stops along your career where you've been fined $55,000 for the FCC because you're a dumbass, or you go over to Howard Stern and you're no longer there because you call out colleagues and you're about to get your face punched in. We'll talk about that here tonight. So Scott Farel, come to the front. Also, camp is 2 weeks away. SEC Media Days are done. What are we going to be expecting over the next couple of weeks? What we need to prepare for, what we need to see. So now that SEC Media Days are over, this week is over, football's here, man. Football's here. So next week, you got some maxing out from athletes. You'll have in 2 weeks or really in 8 days, you'll have the Bayou Splash, the big recruiting event. We'll talk a little bit of recruiting here tonight as Caden Durham officially announced his commitment date. And then Colin Simmons said that he will be giving his commitment date out soon, and pretty much told everybody, listen, if I didn't tell you anything, it's not true, because I hadn't talked to anybody. We'll do a little recruiting update, SEC recapping as we do every Tuesday and Thursday, hashtag Ask Blake. So thoughts, questions, concerns, put them inside the Rudy Crew chat. We'll get to as many of them as we can. Arthur says Scott Farel, clown emojis. No doubt. Josh says, hi, Blake. What's going on, buddy? He also says, it's so hot, we are melting. Yeah, we are out here in the heat, man. So out here, in case you're just joining us, we are on like a little family thing that we had to do. So I had to move the show from the studio to our new location. So at least we can do one. That's all that we can say. So all we can say. Real Edo says, that's dedication, Blake. Thanks. Yeah, I guess you can call it that. I guess you can call it dedication. But I need all of you to do me a favor, though. I need every single one of you to do me a favor. I need you to hit the like and share, man. I need you to hit the like and share. Share to all those social media groups. Share to all those social media pages. Kevin says, it's so hot the trees are whistling for dogs. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, man. I mean, look, going out to, the pool, because we're, like I said, out of town. My son, he just learned he learned how to swim, and it's so hot out there. Like, I had to jump in just to cool off, dude. Could y'all imagine this body getting in there? You know what I mean? Could you imagine this body having to dive in there? It's not a dive, man. It's a belly flop, right? If you felt the earth shaking, it was my belly flop from earlier in the pool. Chris H says, was anything funnier during SC Media Days than Kevin bitching out or about the portal? He's the portal king, right? Yeah, I mean, and he's like, oh, well, it's not fair. Well, I mean, it's not like Lane Kiffin's not tampering. I mean, come on, man. But then he asked like one reporter, like, what's your mama's name? Because they looked alike. I mean, Kiffin's Kiffin, man. Kiffin's Kiffin. He's not going to hold back. Paul Sharp says Blake is in an undisclosed location. I am. If you're in the southwest or southeast in the Gulf Coast area, I mean, massive house, dude. I mean, just massive house. Anyway. Thad Landry says, checking in from Dubai. How about that? He says, tell that dude to STTDB, go Tigers. Absolutely. Dubai, man. Thad, how was that? I mean, can you look like if you got the money to go to Dubai, can you let a brother hold like 500? Let a brother hold 500. Yes, indeed. Gary Lynch says, hope you're enjoying family vacay. I wish we could call it a vacay, but thank you, Gary. Yeah, it's been fun having the kids hanging out with their family. Trip Block says, hashtag Ask Blake, what's the latest on Luke Holman? We'll talk about that. After the break. Carlton Landry says Scott Farel is a nut job. He's more than a nut job, man. We're going to hit that first out of the break. All right, let's get rolling. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share to all those social media groups. Do us a favor, man. We're out of location. We couldn't really do what we wanted to do, but we're here. So do us a massive favor by hitting that like and share. Share all those groups on Facebook. Share all those social media pages. Look, a lot of you, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. A lot of you have been subbing to the message board, ayssnetwork.com, man. It's been live up in there. So if you want to join to the forum, come on, man. Come on. It's been fantastic. It's been electric. A lot of people are joining. So I really appreciate that. ayssnetwork.com. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. We appreciate all those who do. And to all of you that will probably watch this on Fubo from the undisclosed location. So thank you for joining us. Hit that like and share. Let's talk, though, about our good friends over at betonline.ag. We'll talk about Scott Farrell. We'll talk about Luke Holman. We'll talk about recruiting. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. You put it inside the chat. We'll do that here tonight. Don't go anywhere. We're back next. I think Scott Farrell needs to duck for cover.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varnado & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varnado & Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992. 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by.
All right, a couple of these before we get rolling. Josh says, Blake, any updates on Colin Simmons? Well, Josh, I would tell you, go over to the message board, ayssnetwork.com. Massive write-up in there about Colin Simmons, where I think things stand, things that I'm hearing. But let me just say this to the open market. in 8 days, LSU will host their Bayou Splash, a massive recruiting event. We gave you a list of names of guys that will be there, some guys that have confirmed to us that will be there. And a lot of look, and I've been telling you this for weeks, and because of the events of my life, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. You as an individual are going to have to start preparing and start looking at who you get info from. I kind of told you for weeks, don't panic, don't freak out, don't panic, don't freak out. Oh, well, this guy's not going to show up, this guy's not going to show up, that guy's not going to show up. Well, guess what? They're showing up. I don't know what happened right there. I must have had a bruise. They're showing up. So we'll talk a little bit more about recruiting in just a minute, but go to the message board. I feel pretty decent about where LSU sits. Chris Lomax says, Blake, the SEC media keeps saying LSU is the team to beat in the SEC or team to beat this year. Well, I think Georgia is the team to beat. In the West, I do think that LSU is, without question. Anthony says, dedication, Blake. I like it always, man. We missed yesterday. We had to because we were traveling, but we're here now. Kevin says, missing me some Mike Leach. I will admit, I thought it was a pretty good touch that Sankey didn't, went without the tie. I like that, man. I like that a lot. All right, one more, then we'll get rolling. Chris H says, my family and I are in Scottsdale, Arizona this week for my wife's friend's wedding. It's insanely hot here. Who are the people who choose to live here full time? Yeah, man, it's like 110 degrees, isn't it, Chris? Man, it's hot. All right, let's get rolling. I just want to preface this. I did not have the time to clip this guy's piece. I didn't even really know who this guy was. Okay, like I really had no idea who Scott Farel was. So in case you missed it, yesterday, somehow, some way on his radio show, which apparently a lot of people watch, Scott Farel from New York, they got to talking about LSU. And in this monologue that he had, multiple times he said something to the effect of LSU in every sport is corrupt. Let me start off with this. And he said they're corrupt in everything. They do everything wrong. Well, let's start off here. Scott, a couple phone calls of people in the business that you and I are in. You've been in radio. You've been in podcasting, whatever it may be. He who hath no sin cast the first stone. But you've gone your entire career with nobody liking you. Nobody. You got fined by the FCC for $55,000. Howard Stern brings you on his platform, and you're calling out colleagues because, for whatever reason, I have no idea. And then you think it's, I guess, okay, because you're a New Yorker, you want to call out LSU. And then, by the way, it's not like you have a lot of followers. You don't. You don't have more than us. Who are you? How do you know anything about LSU? Corrupt how, Scott? I challenged you to come on this platform. You could have come on here tonight. You could have waited until next week when we're back in the studio. You're going to have to sit here and tell me how LSU is corrupt, because they did what they did in the transfer portal in baseball and basketball, what they did in the transfer portal in football. It's funny because Nick Saban just had his best recruiting class ever when NIL was a thing. So did Jimbo Fisher. Did you call them corrupt? Did you call them corrupt? No. They're corrupt in everything they do. Well, why don't you get off your lazy ass and start giving details, or be a man, grow some balls, and come on this show and tell us where they're corrupt? But you won't do it, though. So if this clip does get to you, because we're going to tag you in it, if this clip that my team's going to put together, if it gets to you, the challenge for Scott to come on the show is open-ended. You want to call LSU corrupt, you better bring details. But saying something for clicks because you're a clickbait clown, this is what we call you in the business, which you should know because you're in the business, a CBC. Don't get it twisted. Never mind. I'm not even going to go there. Not with kids and everybody around. You're a clickbait clown. Corrupt. I was of the belief system. I was of the belief system that LSU was behind in NIL. Y'all remember that? Now, all of a sudden, nationally, everybody's saying LSU's killing it in NIL. LSU's dominating in that space. Well, hell, 2 years ago when Brian Kelly took over, apparently nobody was given a penny. Come on, man. Come on. With all due respect to Scott Farel, NIL and the transfer portal are a thing. And once players go into the portal and by state legislation, if you can talk to players about NIL, you're not breaking any rules. The federal government, you Rudy Poo, determined that the NCAA could not bring punishment on institutions. If you could read, I saw you have a book sack close to your set. I don't even know why you have a book sack on set or books on your set. You can't even read, because if you would have read the federal legislation about this, the NCAA can't do anything about it. It's unconstitutional. I don't know why people can't keep their names out of their mouth, but let me tell you one thing that I do like. When you win, it brings haters. Look, man, I will take dudes who get divorced and dudes like Scott Farel who get fined by the FCC because they make claims that aren't real, and it's been proven that he will lie on his show for clicks. That's not my opinion. We know that to be true. I will take Rudy Poos with thinning hair, like Farel, saying that LSU is corrupt and talking trash if it means we win natties. LSU or allegedly, Louisiana is a very poor state. Then why is LSU beating Texas? Why is LSU beating A&M? Why is LSU beating Ole Miss, Miami? Why are they beating Georgia in some things? The two last things that LSU faced athletically in the Big Four, women's basketball and baseball, none of those programs could take over LSU. Why? Maybe because people want to be here. Rudy Poo. All right. I like this. Go in the shower, guy says, Blake Ruffino broadcasting from a Super 8 near you. It's true. We're not in a hotel, man. We're in a house. I'll send y'all a picture of it. No, we had some family things that are going on. Paul Sub Martin said, Andrew Martin said, Farrell's career would have been sunk a while ago if the NFL Network didn't give him a few appearances on their top 10 series. I agree. He's a loser, man. You look him up on Wikipedia. Following his exit of WKAM, Scott Farrell took a midday slot at a newly created Real Radio WMAX FM or 105.3 Atlanta in January of 2004. His stint at Atlanta's only FM talk station only lasted until September of 2004, so just a little bit less than 9 months, when the station flipped to the Latin format. So he sucked so bad after, by the way, he got fined $55,000. They went to a full Latin Spanish station because he sucks so much. How do we, as a podcast who's been around for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, have more followers than you do? It's because no one likes you. We're not in a Motel 6, guys. We're not in a Motel 6. I promise you. You don't let that lamp fool you. I mean, we got the TV behind us. We're in an Airbnb. Stefan, our good friend over at Fry Construction, says, damn, bro, I'm late. What we doing, Rudy Crew? Well, just talking about this little Rudy Poo named Scott Farrell. All right. So we're not going to be too terribly long tonight. We might go about 45 minutes to an hour. So I guess normal time. Let's get to actual things that are on the field. Okay, and things that happened this week. Guys, quite honestly, I know that it's football season, but I do got to just address one thing baseball-wise. Listen, Luke Holman was expected to or is expected or was expected to make his visit to LSU, so the Alabama Ace. This is what I was told when I started making phone calls on the way here last night about Holman's visit, that it's going well. That's what I was told. I would not be shocked that if tomorrow or next couple days you got an announcement where he's going. Now, a lot of people believe that the two teams that lead for this have always been Tennessee and LSU, and obviously LSU's gotten the last visit. I trust Jay. I think that Jay is going to do things to make sure that he gets a former ace on the staff. And everybody's saying, Thatcher Hurd. I don't disagree with you that Thatcher could be an ace on the staff. Holman's been in that position. What's interesting to me, if Holman could be a frontline guy, and he would be a massive addition. Look, you're going to have a really good team. This freshman class that you actually do have coming in that did not get drafted, the pieces you have coming in from the portal like Braswell and Bingham, you obviously have Tommy Tanks back. You have a lot of left-handed hitting. Travinsky and Milazzo both announced that they're coming back. Look, man, you got a really, really solid team. Adding a guy like Luke Holman sends you to another stratosphere because you have two guys that can start Friday, Saturday night, regardless of where you put them. And you got a lot of guys returning from injuries. So I personally do like where LSU sits for a lot of these guys that are in the portal. I like where, I heard some things about Braden Montgomery. This is, by the way, what I've heard and gotten confirmed about Braden Montgomery. I would not be shocked if the agency that he's hired. I think he's with, a lot of people have been saying that he is with Rock Nation. Then we pretty much got that one confirmed through through them because we had, through some NIL stuff, we had worked with Rock Nation before. That they're going to set up some visits and then they'll go that route. From what I understand, he wants to make an announcement within the next 11 days. So if he's going to make an announcement in the next 11 days, right before August, then you're going to have a pretty good idea where your team sits, because they're really the only two guys that you're going after at this point is going to be Holman. It's going to be Montgomery. If an agency like Rock Nation is setting things up, I would expect Mississippi State and LSU to get involved here. When you have an agency like this, 9 times out of 10, you know what it's about. Okay? The only thing that makes sense for him going to Mississippi State is because it's home. And it doesn't matter where home is. You always have to assume that a guy will want to go back home. Look, you've seen it, right? Like you've seen really just from your own team and LSU, like guys like Greg Brooks, massive example. Guys like Joe Fouché, guys like Jalen Lee. And I know that's football, but really just across all of sports, you see guys that want to come home. And I don't know if that's what Braden Montgomery would want to do, but Jackson, Mississippi's not that far from Baton Rouge. So it's not like he's getting that. He's definitely going to be much closer to home if he were to go to LSU. If home is where he wants to be, then I cannot blame him. But I think that Jay is going to battle this one out. If he gets to visit, I would not be shocked. But I would not be shocked either way on how this goes. Would not be shocked either way on how this goes. So to talk a little baseball before we get to the main course in all this, I think you sit in a really good place with Luke Holman. I think I really don't know what to think about things I hear about Braden Montgomery. Would I be excited if he came here? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do I have confidence in it? I don't know. Like I don't know how to feel about Montgomery, but it doesn't mean that LSU's not going to go down swinging. And Jackson's not that far, man. I mean, it's really not. It's really, really not that far. Wants to be close to home. We'll see. No, Perry, we're talking about Brain Montgomery. Luke Hill, I think, had the ability to, if he wanted to take that visit to Ole Miss, he would have. Oh, Luke Hill to Ole Miss, not Luke Holman. Yeah, Luke Hill did go to Ole Miss. If I said this the other day, Perry, if Luke Hill wanted to come to LSU, he should have gotten the portal when he had the chance. He should have gotten in the portal when he had the chance. Long, long time ago. There's no excuses. There's no excuses. All right, let's get to a couple comments and we'll get to football. Aaron Miller says, isn't he supposed to be visiting other places this weekend? He told Zach Nagy no. I mean, that's what he told Zach, and we had Zach on the show the other day. That's what he is saying. So we'll see. D Music on YouTube says, how in the world was Jackson McGowan rated 3-star? He looks like he could be better than Taylor. You know how, man. You know how. You know how these things work by now, right? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, his size is not the he doesn't have the natural size of a tight end. My better question is how is the entire SEC about to allow Kamorian Pimpton to go to Vandy? That's what I would want to know. How you gonna let that dude go to Vandy, man? Yikes. Good steal there at the end. All right, let's talk a little football. Listen, we got about two, and we'll talk. I'm just thinking we'll talk a little bit of football here too. I mean, a little recruiting here too. So I'll just combine those two things. Listen, bottom line is this: you start camp in 2 weeks. In 8 days, you have the Bayou Splash that will happen in Baton Rouge. I'm assuming at Brian Kelly's house. Let's start there. I urge you. If you haven't done so already, go over to the message board, ayssnetwork.com/forum. If you're not a member, sign up, $7 a month. You get 4 months for free if you do the annual package. Let's start off with a little recruiting. Number one, a couple of recruits that you're after have said either, like Colin Simmons, I plan to make an announcement date soon, or Caden Durham, who came out today and confirmed that he is going to be committing on August the 25th. Like I've been saying, and I've been saying it for over a month now, there's been a lot of negativity around LSU and recruiting because you've seen other teams get recruits. You haven't. This is the nature of the beast in recruiting. It's the nature of the beast. Teams are going to get guys, and then you'll start getting some too. What I do hate, and I know that hate is a strong word, but I told you this last year. I told you this the year that Brian Kelly came in, when Will Campbell and others were still out there. Relax. And I think that you need to relax when it comes to the two kids that are out there in Duncanville. I've said this for months. I feel good where you sit. Colin Simmons is a big deal. He is a massively big deal. He's one of, if not the best player in this recruiting class. Caden Durham is a guy that Frank Wilson has put a lot of interest in. And it's coming down to Oklahoma and LSU. And Frank Wilson's doing Frank Wilson type stuff. So LSU has got to close like you have to do with every recruit. Let's see how it goes. But do not panic. You know what's crazy is on 3 and 247 as an example, drop a guy like Wardell Mack from John Ehret, and then all of a sudden the hype goes away. Y'all notice that? The hype just instantly starts going away. Things start getting noticed. Wardell Mack is wearing gloves, LSU gloves, while he's working out, and all of a sudden the next day he gets dropped. Kid hadn't camped really anywhere. The times that he has, he's locked everything down like his name's Akon in that rap video. I told you about Deshaun McBride for a year, and now he's climbing up boards. Don't listen to the negative recruiting. In 8 days, the creme de la creme of recruits will be here. Everybody's coming. Everybody's coming. Now, that's probably going to get clipped and put in a negative light. I probably should have chose my words more carefully. You're going to be fine there. You're going to be fine there. I don't worry one iota when it comes to the staff that Brian Kelly has put together. I don't worry about it, and I don't worry about the things that they're doing in recruiting. I think you do continue to lock this state down. Can you close with Tylen Singleton? Can you close with Don McKinley? Can you close with Wardell Mack? And I'm just going to tell you right now, guys, if you do that, if you just get those 3 kids from your state, which you're going to get more, okay? There's more kids that are going to commit that aren't from your state. But if you lock down those 3, you're instantly back into the top 5. And it would be the first time in Brian Kelly's history that since he's been the head coach, because remember, he was the head coach and was named the head coach when guys like Emory Jones and Will Campbell signed. It will be the first time in his career he's had 3 straight top 5 classes. Then all of a sudden, coming out of the blue, what's everybody going to say about Brian Kelly if he gets a top 5 recruiting class again? I don't mean this in a derogatory way, and I don't mean this in any kind of wrong way to anybody. Guys, a blind chimpanzee could get a top 20 class at LSU. An elite coach gets you that top 5 class, and I think that you close and you get the guys that you want to come here. Is it going to be a toss-up with a guy like Colin Simmons? Sure. What happens after Brian Kelly closes in 8 days? What happens? So I know that you're freaking out. I know that there's a lot of bad reporting out there. There's been bad reporting. When everything was going on in Texas's way, when everything was going and Texas was out here, all the momentum was there. Let it be. Let them have momentum with Colin Simmons. What's going to happen in 8 days when Brian Kelly closes? Look, I can't be as real with you as a human being more than I'm going to be with you right now. You're going to, as a man, a woman, as an adult, you're going to have to start paying attention who you're taking news from. Because how do I come on here and do 25 shows a month, tell you guys, relax, it's not going to happen. It doesn't happen. And then you're like, oh, Blake, this guy said this guy said that. Oh. Then it doesn't happen. And then you still listen to this person. And I'm not talking about like LSU people. I'm talking about Texas, Florida. Why are you listening to that shit? People that listen to that stuff, you're just banging your head into the wall. Do you think Brian Kelly would go on national television saying the way that we're going to recruit, we're going to close the gap? What does he know that you don't? Everything. If Brian Kelly is going to, this isn't Orgeron. This isn't Miles. This isn't Jerry DiNardo with his crazy ass. you have a guy that is cerebral. Brian Kelly would not say something like that and talk about recruiting if he didn't know. But I mean, Jesus, man. Relax. Brandon Reese says it would be something if we get Singleton, Mack, McKinley, and Simmons. It would be more than that. Caden Durham made his announcement that he's going to be committing on the 25th. I mean, again, I don't know why you listen to them Rudy Poos. You got people on here just, oh, my vagina hurts. Don't listen to that shit. Pay attention who you get your news from. All right, I see my guys in here. The man that has ran media days. Chris Phillips from the Spurs Up Show says, much love to you, my boy. He was all over the SEC network. Congrats, our man, Chris. If you guys don't follow, if y'all don't follow him on Twitter, you're Rudy. Don't be a Rudy Poo. Follow him. His hair looked flawless, all up and down on the SEC network on Radio Row. Anyway, Chance Babin says that's what she said. That is what she said. Kevin says, let BK do the damn thing. It will be okay. I promise you guys, just like, look, man, this is LSU. The closest thing that you've got to a coach like this, and Brian Kelly, has been Saban, ever. You got one in Jay Johnson. You got another one in Mulkey. He is a cerebral assassin. Like, Brian Kelly could be the face of Assassin's Creed, and it wouldn't be false. That's how much of assassin he's got in him. Let it chill, bro. Chill, bro. Chris says, I love what Brian Kelly had to say. LSU is officially my pick for the SEC West. You got to love it, man. My man's been on his – listen, I would have arm wrestled him like a grizzly bear if he didn't pick the Tigers. I'm just going to be honest. But my man came out there before I even said anything to him. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you'll go follow him on Twitter. D-Pain says, okay, I see you, Blake, on the road with the live podcast. I see. Yeah, we are on the road. We're going to be doing a lot of these, man. We're going to be doing a lot of these. At least we hope to. I will tell you this. Be on the lookout tomorrow, guys. We're going to be, I think, our Rufino and Joe show is going to be on Bleacher Report. So we're going to be live on Bleacher Report tomorrow. I think it's 6:30. So it's going to be fun. We got to talk about Pac-12 Media Days, though. Hope Caleb Williams doesn't paint his nails. Because Bleacher, I'm going to be there for Bleacher Report for one day if that kid paints his nails. They're going to hire me and fire me on the spot if that kid shows up to Media Days with his fingernails painted. Guys, come on, man. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This dude out here painting his fingernails, man. Come on, dude. You're the Heisman Trophy winner. Don't be painting your nails. The only man that can paint his nails are men that have girls and Israel Adesanya. It's the only people that can paint their nails, man. Because Israel Adesanya, don't matter if he paints his nails or not, he's still going to kick your ass. All right. Camp starts in 2 weeks. Look, here's some things that we have talked about and discussed. Okay. Last Thursday, we discussed, and Brian Kelly went and talked about it ad nauseum. And I'll echo it here. We clipped it. Go watch last Thursday's show if you want to. Things that LSU's got to work on. When we get there 2 weeks from now and when camp continues to go on, I'm assuming Brian Kelly will give us some scrimmages. He did last year. He did not let any of us go to practices during the season. And I'm okay with that. If you're going to let me be there all preseason, I don't have to be there during the year. I'm cool with that. I want to see how this defense gets on the field on third down. They have been focused on a lot of things. Brian Kelly says, I don't know what I have at DB. Let's go see, man. And this defensive backfield, this D-back unit, Safeties included, you're going to be going up against some really elite dudes, man. Some really elite dudes. You got Brian Thomas. You got Aaron Anderson, who, by the way, I'm just going to let you know, Aaron, I've been saying if this young man can stay healthy, Aaron Anderson is a problem. Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Aaron Anderson, Kyle Parker, Kyron Lacey, they have some dudes that they're going to have to cover that. Come here. Daddy's on a show. I know where it is. It's outside. It's in the garage. Oh. Your bat's in the garage. Hey, where are we at?
At my room.
But where are we, Ben? This is my son, Ben, if you don't know. Where are we?
Application.
Application? Yeah. Are you having fun?
Yes.
What did you do today? Don't touch that. Don't touch that. What did you do today?
I slide down the slide.
You slide down the slide? Into what?
Fornication.
No, like you slid into a pool?
Yeah.
You went swimming?
Yeah.
Did you just eat supper? What'd you eat?
Pizza.
Pizza! And you didn't bring me any? All right, Daddy will be down there in a minute, okay? Ask Mommy, I think your bat is either outside or it's in the garage. It's outside? Well, go get it. Hey. Close that door, boy. Ben, close the door, son. Oh, man. Chris H says that's the star of the show. There he is. Yeah. We're on vacation is what he calls it. He doesn't call it vacation. He goes, we're on vacation. Kevin says, Raceland checking in. Anyway, back to it. I'm not going to disagree with Brian Kelly on what he has in the defensive backfield, but I do, if you listen to what he said, he talked about guys like Zy Alexander. He goes, guys, I have no idea what I have in Zy Alexander. None. I still believe you're going to be okay there. Like, I think that earlier in the year, you could maybe see some missteps, but you're going to have to get yourself up to speed really quickly, because if you have missteps and blown coverages like you did and some of the things that you've seen in the past, guys, Florida State does not suck. But the good thing is you have an offensive unit and a wide receiver room that arguably as a unit is, if they can hold on to the goddamn ball, could be one of the best. Guys, you led the SEC in drops. You got to hold on to the ball. But you got 4 dudes that can play anywhere. Malik Neighbors can go anywhere in the country and be a starter. Anywhere. Now, you got to prepare those dudes in the back end. It's interesting. And one thing that I like, you know what? If Brian Kelly would have came out at SEC Media Days and said, Coach, where, you talked about having some holes. If he would have came out and said offense and defensive line, then I would start feeling really shitty. Like, I'd be like, oh, man, here we go. It's going to be a long year, right? It's going to be a long year. Why did he not talk about the front 7? Those guys, I mean, you got to replace some things there too. Omar Spates is coming in. You don't really know what you got Omar Spates playing in the SEC. I mean, they do know because they saw him in practice. Harold Perkins is moving from the outside, moving into middle backer. You don't really know what you have it with Harold Perkins at middle backer. Why didn't he talk about the front 7? Let me tell you why. Because he knows. He has a pretty good idea. I think he has a pretty good idea of what he's got at DB. And quite honestly, it's a little bit of coach speak, I think. I think he wants you to attack him in the air. I think he wants Florida State week 1 to go after him in the air. Because when you got a guy like Denver Harris, Zy Alexander, Deuce Chestnut, J.K. Johnson, and others, Terrence Welsh has made a damn good name for himself. We'll see. But anything that Brian Kelly said in media days is not going to stop the game plan, because Mike Norvell doesn't really game. If you ever watch Florida State, he game plans for everybody the same. Like they're going to run their stuff. They're going to do what they need to do. They're going to get in and out of there. They don't change for anybody. They don't change for anybody. They're going to do what they want to do over and over again, like it's the Tim McGraw and Nelly song, over and over again. So I've asked pretty much every guest we've had on the last couple weeks, what's the first unit that you're going to go to? Everybody keeps talking about DB. Personally, for me, I'm going to D-line because you got a new defensive line coach. What does Mason Smith look like? Mekhi Wingo's coming off injury. How does Jackson Howard look? How does Deshaun Womack look? My guy, Deshaun Womack. I want to see how good he looks. I want to see this D-line unit because I do think I think you've gotten better there. And you know what helps out your DB room? Really, really, really good D-line play. Get after the QB, man. Make him your bizite. All right, a couple comments and we'll get out of here. Kevin Abear says, Ben, don't be hogging that pizza. Yeah, I know. My man is in love with some pizza, man. One bite, everybody knows the rules. We might have to do a we might have to do a pizza review with him. Look, man, that man is a cheese pizza eating fool. That little dude will eat him some cheese pizza. I think. Look, I've seen this a lot. Brandon Reese says, "I want to see Sage Ryan have a breakout season." I do too. I want to see him have a breakout year too, man. But man, I don't know. I don't know. Can he? Talented kid, man. Talented kid. Can he put it all together? If he does, we'll be all right there. Andy says, ask Blake, who is your candidate for number 7 and number 18 jerseys? Let me think about that. Number one. Guys, I got to be honest. I hope they burn that damn number 7 jersey. I hope they burn that bit. Burn it. Hadn't been working for people. Grant Delpit got hurt. Stingley got hurt. Kayshon Boutte came back hurt. Didn't play like himself. He acted like a little prima donna sometimes. Let me think. I mean, the only real person I think you would give 7 to Malik, but I don't think he wants it. I think he wants to stay number 8. Who gets number 18? It's a good question. I thought BJ Ojulari was a perfect pick last year. Thinking. I don't know why I want to say Josh Williams. But I feel like it's going to be Josh Williams, personally. Team loves him some Josh Williams, man. And the kid kind of deserves it, dude. But I hope they burn it. Colin Thibodeau, my guy, he says, sitting in Orlando, making sure all the neighbors can hear Blake Ruffino talk about the Tigers. I love it, man. I love it. Tell them to subscribe, too. Tell them to subscribe on the YouTube channel. Thanks, Colin. Andrew Paulson Martin says 7 needs to take a hiatus. I agree with that. Nelson Field says, yes, Josh Williams, number 18. I wouldn't pick any bones on that. It wouldn't bother me at all. All right. Ben said they got pizza downstairs. Hymns downstairs. All right. We'll see y'all. Actually, we'll be on Bleacher Report tomorrow, so look out for some notifications, man. Big deal for us tomorrow. So on Bleacher Report. So hit the Twitter notifications, all that good stuff. We will see y'all tomorrow, 6:30. Peace. Y'all have a good one.